Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable beings, invaders from another world, the world must be destroyed if possible in our dark past. Watch out and pray.
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, struggling or failed artists, and anyone out there who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Episode 17, we're going into the Greys for a part 2, their agenda, second part of our Greys 101 series of episodes. As usual, I am Tasker, and we have here our wonderful and lovely Nick.
Hey, thanks for the introduction. Hey, real quick, I just want to point out something you said in your intro. So you said, what was it, struggling or failed artists? Right?
Maybe, yeah.
Are you doing okay, like mentally, emotionally? Is there something you need to talk to us about, Tasker?
Look, hey, man, sometimes the curvature of the titty is really hard to get right. And certain days it works better than others. And that's going to be my money make. Because remember, we established that I'm going to just become a furry artist and solve all of my problems.
You established that. I'm not endorsing
it. You were there for it, man. You didn't. Well, maybe you did decline. Hey, man, you know what? We each have our own paths to live. And I'm just going to the one that I'm following my yellow brick road.
Okay, well, you know what, buddy? I'm glad that you're finding what makes you happy, but we're all a little worried about you, okay?
Hey, you should all be
turning to furry porn, what is it called? Commissions. I'm going to have to kick you off the podcast.
So I'm just going to I'm going to be like the furry porn Batman. You won't even know it's me, but I'm going to build so much clout. You're going to hear about me and you'll be none the wiser.
That's so disgusting.
So if you haven't taken it from me quite yet, if you have an artist in your life, I was going to say give them a hug, but I guess you can't really do that with the quarantine. So check in on them because the entertainment industry is not doing great right now, I hear.
Nope. But you know what? We are still here to entertain you guys. And that's what's important, right? Wouldn't you say that's what's important, Tasker?
I would say so. And we could do it remotely. And I do miss our HD crystal clear quality. This is, at least we're getting stuff out. At least we're trying to, entertain, but some might say inform the masses.
Yeah, actually, speaking of the quality, I did re-listen to one of our newer episodes just to kind of see what the quality is like with this remote recording. It kind of sounds like a radio play from like the 30s.
Oh,
like so that's how bad the quality is. So it's kind of like, hey, see, buddy, hey, all right, for the rest of the episode, I'm going to talk like this. See.
So you're meaning to tell me that these gray aliens, they're coming down and they're coming to steal our anal virginities?
They're coming down. They're putting gloves on their hands and shoving them up our buttholes, pal.
Hey, at least they're wearing gloves, right? That's right. Gear up, everyone. A lot of butt stuff this episode.
It's going to be gross. All right, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of our Greys series. In part 1, we gave some background on the species themselves. And in this second part, we are finally going to be going over the agenda or agendas of the Greys and what they do here on Earth.
Outside of giving a gnarly rim.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a lot of that.
I know we established they had tiny mouths. Do they have tongues, or is it just really so small they can't even poke out?
I don't know. I mean, I assume they have tongues because at one point I believe that they were able to speak. That's my personal opinion. But I think they just didn't speak. They stopped. They just started learning how to use telepathy and they stopped speaking. So there's probably some little tongue in there somewhere. Probably devolved into like a tiny one,
And y'all might be thinking I'm bringing this up because I'm interested in anal cunnilingus with an alien species. But no, I actually rewatched the scene. I think it was Scary Movie 3 with where they did the parody on. I think it was it Signs?
It was Signs. Yeah.
Yeah, where they they pee through their finger, and then Leslie Nielsen, rest in peace, was just like, oh yeah, I guess we're not all too different anyways, and he's peeing through his finger.
It was a stupid movie, but I love that. The third one's like my favorite of the series, honestly.
Dude, it's so good. It was actually, now keep in mind, I am the podcast certified fraidy cat. It actually took me a while to build up to the third one because I was so, nothing scared me more as a kid than the fucking Ring. Like that to me, I had a TV in my bedroom, so I was up for like months. So I avoided that movie like the plague, but I got over it. And see, character growth, man. We're all capable of it.
Yeah. You know what? Congratulations, Tasker. You have reached adulthood now. You are not afraid of anything.
I can watch a scary movie and only lose 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that's better than 16. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a marked improvement, and especially with this podcast, we're going to be getting into spookier stuff. So you just, got to build the tolerance, just like spicy food.
Then you can thank me later because you're welcome.
Oh, nice. I'll thank you with anal cunnilingus.
All right. Well, let's first talk about some abductions and sightings that took place that were centered around the Greys. First up is a famous one, and I don't think we'll ever do an episode on it just because it's been done so many times. But of course, we're talking about the abduction of Betty and Barney Hill.
I've never heard of this.
Well, I'm not surprised, Tasker. I'm not fucking surprised.
Betty, like Betty Crocker. Is this an origin story of the baking boxes?
It is. And Barney, the dinosaur.
Oh, see, this is a history-making moment that the Greys have given to us. They've given us Betty Crocker, and which you can't buy anymore because it's all sold out in the grocery stores, and Barney, who haunts our nightmares.
Exactly. You know
Beautiful.
What? First off, what the hell's going on with the baking thing with the pandemic? Is everybody that bored at home and they decided since they're on house arrest, they're going to be like a regular Martha Stewart, who's also on house arrest? Like,
yeah. I think you might be onto something in that people are like, I have nothing to do. I'm going to try baking. But like at the same time, buying boxed baking stuff is like, yeah, it technically is baking, but it's like, you have the time. Like, why don't like try to learn how to do it from scratch? It tastes, well, it does. I would say it tastes way better, but I was like, but also if you've never baked before, maybe not, but I don't know. The mentality of people during a panic quarantine thing is ridiculous. Like people are just now realizing that buying a shit ton of water was like completely like pointless. And now the stores are way overstocked with water bottles.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job, everybody out there with your fucking water, your 30 cases of water in your garage. What are you parking outside now? Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, man. So we have Betty and Barney Hill.
We do. So long story short, Betty and Barney Hill were a couple living in New Hampshire who were abducted in September of 1961. It was one of the first publicly followed cases of extraterrestrial abduction.
Did it happen while they were baking?
Yeah, they had just finished baking and then they got abducted.
Yeah, and Barney was writing the I love you, you love me song at the table.
Yeah, he's like, this is going to be a banger.
You'll see, Betty. I'll show them all.
Straight to the moon, So I'm not going to go into the abduction. People listening to this podcast know about this abduction. I don't want to go into any details. Like I said, we're probably not going to do an episode on it in the future. I know our audience, Tasker. Okay, I know you don't know what happened to them.
I don't know what happened to them. Nope.
I know what happened to them. Our listeners know what happened to them. I'm not going to go into it. All right. It's been done thousands of times.
Okay. This actually, I don't know why this sparked this memory, but I had a professor forever ago. He had this phrase because he hated new technology, but like had to embrace it anyways. So he was always really salty about it. But whenever something came up that you had to look it up online, he would always just be like, he would roll his eyes and be like, this is a Googleable moment. So I would say this one is, in fact, a bona fide Googleable moment.
And you know what, guys? If you're listening to this and you don't know what happened to Betty and Barney Hill, just fucking unsubscribe. I don't know what you're doing here.
Wait, but
please don't. We need you.
Yeah, because I would have to unsubscribe.
Oh, that's right. Fuck you, Tasker. Get off of our podcast, man.
I'm actually banned from the Facebook and you can't listen to us. Oh, man. So is there like a quick, like one sentence, like logline description? Do they just get abducted, butt fucked, and then sent back?
Okay. So I will do like one or two sentences.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Betty and Barney Hill driving on a road late at night. I think it was like 10:30. all of a sudden they had missing time, and it was like the next day, right?
Okay.
Betty began having nightmares, which she believed to be, and they knew something was wrong when they had this missing time, because like if you have missing time, you have missing time, and it's a very odd feeling from what I've heard, of course.
Yeah.
So she believed the nightmares she had were linked to this missing time that they had experienced. So they decided to undergo hypnosis in order to find out what truly happened. And then this is where things get interesting for two reasons, and the reasons we bring them up.
Oh.
First, they were able to find out what these beings looked like who have abducted them. They were similar to what we know as greys, with a couple of differences. They had hair with large noses, but were otherwise the classic gray in appearance. And these are two things that we know as a fact greys don't have, like we covered last week. But it's said that the hair and large nose could have been some kind of disguise in order to appear closer to human, in order to not frighten the couple further.
I'm just imagining these things with big like Groucho glasses with the big noses. Be like, hello, fellow human.
That's kind of exactly what happened. They had those with the mustache. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened. So I know that in the description, it said that they have hair and large noses, but I am one of the ones that subscribes to the theory that that was some kind of disguise and that they were in fact greys who abducted them, because they were short in stature, they were skinny, they had large heads, they had rough gray skin, and they had giant eyes. The only differences was the hair and nose. And I mean, shit, dude, look at Michael Jackson. He had a fake nose, and we don't even have that good of technology. Imagine the nose these guys could get. It could look really good, but they don't know that our noses aren't usually that big. So they just kind of overdid it. And then he had like some shitty toupee on the top of his big ass head. Kind of like when Roger from American Dad like gets into his disguises. Like picture that. That's kind of what it looked like. Like, you know, that's an alien, but he's just wearing a toupee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was almost thinking too, like Invader Zim, where it's like his skin is obviously green and he has this like alien backpack and stuff, but he's just got like the base level stuff.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. And I just picture, and I, you know, okay, so there was some milking that happened. Okay, there's a lot of milking that goes on in these abductions when it comes to grays.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine the scenario of, let's say, Barney. He's on this examination table that that she had in her dreams, right? He was getting milked by an alien, you know, and it wasn't like one of those cool ones from those videos where they're laying stomach down and there's a hole in the table and somebody's underneath it. You know, he's just like on his back, just getting a TJ, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And, some alien with like a disguise walks in, like a toupee and like a fake nose, and just starts jerking him off. So how does it feel? Is this good? Is this doing it for you?
Sounds like a blackout Saturday night at like Lazy Dog.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but in appearance, except for those two things that were fake, I will say fake, they looked like gray aliens. Okay. And the second most important thing, and the second clue, is under hypnosis, Betty drew a star map, which she was shown during her abduction. And when compared to the stars we know of, guess where those stars came from that Betty drew during her hypnosis?
The grocery store.
Tasker, did you take notes on the last episode?
Nope. I actually was falling asleep through most of it.
Okay, I know somebody out there took notes. It was Zeta Reticuli, okay? That is what the star system it was that Betty drew. It was an exact replica of a star map of Zeta Reticuli, which is Tasker.
Was it
blank
50 light years away?
No. Who comes from Zeta Reticuli? Tasker, fill in the blanks.
The Greys.
The Greys come from there.
And also keep in mind, if you listen to this, Nick's already found your IP address, and he will break into your house and quiz you on this.
I have 500 tests photocopied, ready to go. I will be coming to your houses. I will be knocking on your door. I will pet your dog. And I will probably hit on your sister. But that's okay because I need you to pass this test. So you better be taking those notes. All right. I need that notebook back out from the last episode.
We need to start or like write a book of how to hit on and attract people while still being a complete tinfoil hat.
It's a fine line. All right. Look, I'm suave, right? I'm smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies love me, right?
Right.
Clearly. But I'm also a scholar of all things that have to do with extraterrestrials and UFOs. I'm well versed and well read in these subjects, right?
You say scholar, and I picture you out and about, like the tie's undone, like the shirt's kind of half unbuttoned, hair's kind of like sort of half fixed, and you are screaming at somebody saying like, "They're here! You ever heard of Zeta Reticuli?"
You guys ever know the truth? I'll fucking tell you.
You see the girl ordering like an appletini that's green. You like run over and like smack it out of her hand.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? That's alien piss.
So yeah, that's lesson one is don't be afraid to embrace your true volume.
Why doesn't anybody love me?
Because you're smacking their alien piss out of their hands. Maybe they like it.
I just call it a mating call.
That's good. You got to peacock it, you know? You gotta show your feathers, show your colors.
That's right. Okay. But now next up is another famous incident, the Roswell incident.
Ooh, this is the big one.
This is the big one. Again, it's something that's been done more than any other topic in ufology. I'm not going to go that much into it, right? But in 1947, a UFO crashed in the deserts of New Mexico and changed the world forever as we know it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we know it.
Well, you can tell it's as popular as it is because there's merchandise for it.
Hell yeah, dude. This is the moment in time that changed technology, that changed the way we perceive the universe, right? And the fact that, hey, maybe we're not alone, you know?
I thought it was just the day they started selling alien jerky.
Well, fuck, that place is pretty cool. I drove out there just to go to that store. There is okay, for people who don't know, in Baker, California, okay, it is a shithole, okay? There are 4 gas stations, a Greek restaurant, and an alien jerky store, okay? And it's dope. It is the coolest place I've ever been. There's alien merchandise. There's alien jerky. There's hot sauce. There's alien trinkets and T-shirts. In this really cool looking building with like a UFO crashed into it on the side. I have driven hours just to go there before, and it's well worth it. So if anybody here lives in Southern California, I highly recommend you waste a bunch of gas and go to Baker. Go to the alien jerky store. It's awesome, man.
You think they stayed open with the whole COVID-19 stuff?
Probably not. So maybe wait a little bit.
Oh man, this is how far you go with alien shit. Like that takes me back to there was that one time where SpaceX made a launch, but it looked really crazy and everyone started freaking out about it. That happened like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I get not like 30 seconds, not a minute, 7 minutes of video footage of you filming this like thing in the sky. And just like, I just hear you commentate. You're like, that's not a spaceship. That's not like human. Who would do that? That's not, you're telling me that came from, it's you just ranting like a madman for 7 minutes straight for something that got confirmed to be SpaceX like 2 days later.
Yeah. But come on, man. Are you serious? Like, you really think that was a SpaceX launch? I've never seen a rocket that looks like that. It looked like plasma was coming out of the back of it, dude.
It did look pretty crazy. And actually, maybe that's a picture we can upload to the Facebook, actually utilize our social media and see kind of what the overarching opinion is on whether or not that's actually a huge cover up. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm thinking SpaceX. That seems like something Elon Musk would do.
All right. I don't want to get into the argument because I've argued many people about this exact thing, incident, and I never win. Nobody ever lets Nick win with this kind of stuff, but it's because like my mind's open to it, and you guys just because the TV tells you it was a SpaceX launch doesn't mean it was a SpaceX launch. You know what I mean?
You're just a modern Atlas, just carrying the whole weight and fate of the universe on your shoulders, huh?
Yeah, it hurts, dude. I'm tired of carrying people. It's like when I play Overwatch, I'm tired of fucking carrying people. When I leave the house and stop playing Overwatch, I still have to carry people because nobody believes me.
I almost want to believe that aliens are going to like touch down and just like start attacking just to see your reaction, just to see like, I actually think you will have a stroke and die because you are so excited to be right.
I can't wait, dude. I'm going to do the whole na 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 to like all you motherfuckers. Okay. If I'm going to come into my recording studio, AKA my bedroom. Okay. I'm going to set everything up. This is while like lasers are coming down and people are getting evaporated and like probed, like just in front of God and everybody. Right. But I'm going to run to my house. Am I going to get a weapon? Am I going to save my dog? Am I going to save my important files, you know, like my birth certificate and that shit matters after the aliens invades, right?
True.
No, I'm going to run to my room, get the recording set up, record a quick episode, and just be like, na 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 na, talking about how you motherfuckers never believed in me, and I'm going to go on this big tirade, and then I'm going to upload it, and then I'm going to get probed. That's my goal. I'm going to do that if we ever get invaded.
And knowing our luck, it'll probably be episode 69, which will literally just be called Nick Was Right.
Nick was right.
It's going to be 5 minutes and it just ends with you getting violently pulled away and you'll be like, no, not in there.
No. Daddy told me that's only to go out, not in.
You have to promise me if something happens, you need to say something like super stupid like that, like on the way out.
My parents told me that's only for going out and not to go in.
just I know that in Valhalla they will remember you for it, so you should definitely do it.
Okay, I will do that. I promise when we get invaded.
Yes. Okay. The pact is sealed.
All right, but as we were saying, Roswell, right? When investigated, it was discovered that there were 3 beings aboard this craft. 2 of them died on impact, and the third survived with injuries and was taken in by the government in order to exchange certain things with them. But we'll cover that whole thing in a later episode and maybe a little bit later in this episode.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit of a little something. I help you, you help me, scratch your backs, you pull my shaft.
Exactly.
Very nice.
And the point of bringing up Roswell is what some military officials say the extraterrestrials looked like. Child-sized, so about 3 or 4 feet tall, large heads, slanted eyes, right?
Right.
Skinny bodies, and gray skin. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, are classic grays. So the most famous UFO incident in the world was perpetrated by none other than the Greys.
Yeah, I noticed you said slanted eyes again. I thought we established they were angled.
Okay, angled eyes. Angled, almond-shaped eyes. Kind of like... Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to refrain. It's just like a comparison, though. I'm trying to get I want our audience to be able to imagine what I'm talking about, right? I want them to be like, I don't know what they mean by angled eyes. Like, what degree? Like, what are they angled at? When you bring up angles, people start thinking about geometry, right? Mm-hmm. The only way I can compare it is like it's like a Korean guy or something.
Not much better.
Look, I don't know. All right, because like, look, my family's Japanese,
right?
Then there's Chinese. And then look in between my knees, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. And then and then there's like Korean. There's all kinds of Asians. Okay, there's a bunch of Asians that make up like Asia, right?
Yes.
but they all have different angled eyes. Like there's different, like, so like my family has a certain slant to their eyes.
Yes.
But then like a Chinese family has a different angle to their eyes. I'm just going to keep talking until I'm out of the grave that I just dug.
Yeah. We're probably going to have to cut some of this, but we'll see.
No, leave it in. They need to know. It's
spreading the truth. And also, isn't Asia like our least like lowest amount of viewership in the world?
I wonder why that is. That's so weird.
Interesting.
But they're not going to hear it anyway. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, very true. Oh, actually, no, I got it wrong. Africa, with a whopping 0 listens.
I'm not going to start making fun of Africa, though. Although we are an equal opportunist podcast, so I kind of have to.
I'm going to stop you right now.
Okay, all right. If the opportunity comes up, I will.
I know.
Like I said, we have to. If the second we start discriminating against other people by not making fun of them, that's discrimination, my friend.
You got a point.
Like playing basketball with like somebody in a wheelchair. Are you going to go easy on them? No, you're going to fucking sweep the floor with them, physically and metaphorically.
Cross their asses.
Yeah, because then he's going to think that you're letting him win because he's in a wheelchair, and that's fucked up.
And I guess you make a good point. You know, if this is too much for anybody, you know, you can always just, you know, turn the podcast off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or better, you can give us a 5-star rating for making us challenge your beliefs and understandings.
Look, I didn't mean to offend anybody, right? I was technically just going over human biology.
This is true. You
took it the wrong way.
See, man, you're thinking like a true gray, and now I'm wondering if maybe there was a little bit of control there.
Whoa.
Hey, man, if I'm a reptilian and you're a gray, that makes us natural enemies.
Some would say, but others might say differently, Tasker.
Oh, real? Oh, God. Did I just open a can of worms that I didn't intend to?
Yeah. So we can put off what we were going to talk about, because we did end this last segment, you know, talking about the sightings at Roswell and what the aliens looked like, just proving that they were grays, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some schools of thought that say reptilians and grays have an interesting relationship, right? What do we know about reptilians?
They got crotch pockets. They are extra dimensional, so they can pop in and out of wavelengths at any moment. So they're like in the curtain of our dimension. They can shapeshift, but not forever. Keanu Reeves is one of them. They're huge and could kill us in one sweep. And the overarching opinion is that I'm probably one of them.
Right. So when you put all that together, you have a very aggressive species, right?
Yes.
As we all know. And we talked about last week, the grays, not so much, not very aggressive. They're actually kind of submissive, right? So if this was like some kind of sick, like dominatrix situation, the reptilian would be the dominatrix and the gray would be some kind of simp, right? Is what we're looking at. And
so grays are just they're freaky little boys, huh?
They're freaky. Well, kind of like forced to be freaky, because like the reptilians, you know, like I said, they could kill whatever they want, so they'll probably wipe out the grays. But the grays are smart, you see. So okay, here is a comparison. Think back to like high school or middle school, right?
How dare you?
And you have a bully and a smart guy, right? Nerd, if you will.
Right.
The reptilians are the bullies, because what they want is, first off, they're angry and aggressive and full of testosterone, so they're taking it out on another living being. But they also probably want something from this nerd, who are the grays. Okay? A bully, like you see in the movies all the time. You see the bully like threaten to beat up this kid if he doesn't do his homework for him, or give him the answers to a test or something. It's kind of the same relationship. So the reptilians are intimidating the grays because the grays are smarter than the reptilians and forcing them to do certain things to us. So some would say that the reptilians and the grays have that kind of relationship and actually do work together, but not by choice.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Going with that whole tangent I just went on. You're welcome, everybody.
well, that's good to know. Yeah, because I wasn't sure. I thought they like hated each other or something like that. But no, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like a bully and nerd situation.
Yeah, just a classic greaser.
Mm-hmm.
Though, if anybody did read The Outsiders, one could argue that it's the what was it? The socias, the social kids. The greasers were the good guys. You know, that's basically what they were saying.
Yeah, that was a good book.
It was a really good book. Yeah, good coming of age tale.
Now let's move on to the juicy bits and discuss why exactly are the Greys visiting us here on Earth.
Yeah, why?
I know you're curious. All right, Tasker, we're getting to it, you little scamp. The first theory is kind of a sad one, actually.
Aww.
Unfortunately, the two stars of Zeta Reticuli might be coming up on their end of the lifespan. One of them is significantly smaller than Earth's, for instance, and it's about 8 billion years old. While, to put it in perspective, the Earth's sun is about 4.5 billion years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could see how one of them is, because it's a binary star system. So if one of them goes, that's no bueno, and it's coming close to an end. So possibly the Greys are looking throughout the universe for another suitable star system which they can inhabit once theirs comes to an end.
That's a really terrifying thought to think about, that the sun, our sun specifically, is going to, it will burn out one day. So it might not be in our lifetime or any lifetime anywhere near ours, but there will be a species of human that will live to just see it just go out.
Yeah, but think about it. They'll probably be in the same situation because it's going to be a long time before that happens. And they will probably be in a very similar situation to the Greys, where they're going to have the kind of technology in order to be able, like, to relocate. Like, they'll actually be able to go out and look at different star systems and say, we could probably move everybody here, you know? And so I think they'll be all right, which is good. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think I have faith in our future, you know? Because I'm an optimistic guy. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, even when there's nothing in the glass.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's because you take a leak in it. And
what?
Yeah, that'll do it too.
I mean, never heard of a little nose beer?
Fucking, I both hate and love that phrase at the same time.
Now, it's no secret that the Greys love doing experiments on us when they abduct us. One of the reasons behind the experiments could be that they're trying to determine what effects our environment has on us. And by determining these effects, they can tell if Earth is suitable for other living organisms, such as themselves, or their tall white overlords, if we are subscribing to the theory that the Greys are androids made by the tall whites.
The almighty tallest for any Invader Zim fans.
There you go. Look, we have references for everybody, all right? I'll do a Pickle Rick thing later. Everybody will laugh their fucking asses off because it's the greatest. That's the greatest reference of all time.
Okay, I just got to take a moment here. I love Rick and Morty. I've loved that show since episode 1, and I've been a devout watcher and listener. And I know everybody, the joke up on the internet, oh, Pickle Rick, and I know it's tongue in cheek and everyone's making fun of it because it's actually like not a good episode, but it's so fucking stupid. Like, that's the point when I started to actually doubt the show a little bit and started to be like, oh no, like, and the episode 1 and Emmy. Okay, I'm stopping myself. I don't like Pickle Rick.
I've always hated that show. And
I know.
And I was right to hate that show because I knew Pickle Rick was coming. I had a dream about it when the show first started coming out. I was like, no way, man. They're going to jump the shark that early?
Well, season 3 was kind of lower tier for sure. The season 4, which is like, I've just been calling it the apology season, has, granted, they only gave us half of it, and now we have to wait for the second half in May for I think it was contract disputes was the reason, but I don't know. I just read that on like a Vox article or something like that. But it's good. It's funny again. They're back to their usual hijinks and stuff. But like, I don't know, man. I literally will talk about this for like a really long time.
Everybody, he's getting really upset right now, so I'm gonna move on before he starts crying.
I might.
I'm sorry, Tashka. I didn't mean to bring it up, man. I was just poking a joke because I know it's a dead meme, and dead memes are my favorite. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking about it.
Okay, hold on. I need a Okay, I'm good.
Okay, good. Another theory is that the Greys are coming to Earth and conducting experiments on us, unbeknownst to the world governments, in order to help with their genetics and progression as a species. And as we have determined, the Greys are a very advanced extraterrestrial species, or just far evolved versions of ourselves, right?
Right.
And with the technology they have developed, they have been able to clone themselves in order to keep a strong line of what they consider to be the perfect being. So, that being said, technically, Greys could be clones, right?
So if we end up in like the Gray shoes, where our sun's burning out and we're creating clones of ourselves, what would be our archetype perfect human being, you think?
Well, I mean, we kind of already know what that is.
Angela White.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a better answer than I have. I was going to bring up Hitler.
God damn. Incorrect. Wrong answer. This
Angela White's good too, though.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go on the entire species. The choices we have here is: do we make us all look like Adolf Hitler, or do we all look like Angela White?
I wasn't going to say he was the ideal. I mean, he had an ideal, right?
Oh my God, no. That's we're normally about discussion here, but that is a wrong answer. That is it's not correct.
Oh, okay. But let's go with Angela White. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that could be kind of fun. Like we all have that. Like we all get to experience. Well, I don't know. It's kind of a confusing thing to think about because that would make us all women. But also, right. I'd imagine that as all
there's nothing wrong with that, Tasker, right? There's nothing wrong with being a woman, right? Well,
I was about to say the reproduction thing, but I was like, but we're being made in a lab, so at this point,
cloning ourselves anyway.
True, and we'll all have like I don't know. That'll be interesting. We'll all be at like the same level of porn star attractiveness.
Shit. Well, then sounds good to me, man.
It'll be interesting, and there's gonna be okay. Actually, here's why that's a great idea: is because. Especially as we go into space travel, we're all looking like Angela White. We're all in like our spaceship. We're traveling around. We find another species on a different planet that's like very similar to us. They're pretty like they're primate and all that stuff. We're going to land and they're going to be like, we're making like contact with aliens. And we walk out and we're just like hundreds of just Angela Whites. And they're just going to look at each other and just be like, dude, score, like jackpot. Like, are you aliens fucking rock?
Dude, yeah. See, look, it's all about perspective, man. We're going to be the aliens one day, and we're just going to, so look at us as humans right now, and we're all literally in the future just going to become a bunch of Angela Whites that visit other planets, and then we will become the aliens. And then on another planet, we will be known as the hot human aliens.
I was going to say, on the other hand, though, what if there's a planet that, similar species of us, but they just happen to have a, infinite realities, infinite universes, anything can happen. And there's a planet that just happens to have global peace because they all unify under Judaism. And then we land, and then there's the 100 Hitlers that walk out. So, we like to take a look at every perspective possible here.
Yeah, multiverse, man. That technically is happening right now. The universe, a giant scale. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get into. We're going to get shut down.
Yeah, we're getting spicy on this episode.
I'm letting out my anxiety. All right.
This is good.
I'm getting it out. I'm getting it out there.
Yeah, it's therapeutic. It's good. It's good.
And like Tasker did mention, as a lot of things are, it was too good to be true. And over time, they lost the ability to procreate, hence the Ken doll-like lack of genitals and lack of reproductive organs in general, because all they did was clone. And like we talked about last episode, what happens when you don't use something over long periods of time as a species? It either becomes disabled or it disappears altogether. AKA their junk disappeared.
There's there's a term for that in anatomy where it's like an appendage of something that we as people, like our tailbones are pretty much like useless, right?
Yeah, and our appendixes, right?
Yeah, it's like it does something, but like Not a lot. Like, you could have it taken out, and it's like you're not really going to be too much different.
Yeah, like your kidneys.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, you need those.
Oh, that's not what the guy told me in the black market.
Oh, yeah. Did you wake up in a bathtub filled with ice?
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, bro. You don't need them anyway. I'm like, all right, fuck. Where's my money? He gave me money. I was like, I've been good since then. Is it normal to pee blood though?
It's not, and that money will last you the rest of your life because you probably have a couple hours left.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that was only in rupees too. I don't even know what that I don't even know what that is here.
Either that's Indian currency or he just gave you Legend of Zelda money.
It was Indian. It would have been. It was gems from the Legend of Link. Forgot his name.
Let me actually. Yes, rupees. Yes, Link is his name. Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, Indian. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we got that right.
Knew it. Haha. See, people think Nick's stupid. On certain things, guys. Only on certain things.
Yeah, same here. Don't we all?
And this leads to the theory that they are trying to use our human DNA, perhaps because we are them from the past and their closest chance to saving their own DNA, to fill the gap in their genetics that has made them completely unable to procreate naturally. So what we're looking at is the Greys. They cloned, and they cloned, and they cloned, and they cloned. But maybe they had a change of heart and they want to be able to procreate. So maybe, since we are them from the past, they can use some DNA from us in order to fill in the gaps that were devolved in their DNA and allowed them to not reproduce anymore. And a reason this might be is because of the many, many, many reports of abductions taking place by the Greys and how they seem to be really interested in our genitalia, right? Our cocks, our balls, and also the eggs in the vaginas, dude. They're interested in all of it. They want the whole package, and they're really into it. Like, dude, they have machines that milk you.
Wow.
Or I heard a story about a Grey that had like tits, right? And she just came in and it was like it just started just going at it, right? And I mean, the guy was just screaming his head off. And I don't know if it was a good or bad scream. But
are we just reading your Grey fan fiction now?
Oh, look, all I know is they're really interested in what's going on inside of our bodies. That's all I know. And it has to be because they need to get that DNA somehow. And, you know, there's only a couple ways to get DNA. And let's just say Greys don't have cotton swabs, if you know what I mean. So they're not going to be swabbing spit.
Hey, man, no judgment on your kinks and all that. But I'm also thinking too, if they are us, like you say, and they just evolved and cloned and they can't procreate anymore. So they can't have sex anymore. So if they truly are descended by us, that must have driven them crazy because, you know, obviously we as humans, that's part of our nature to, you know, sexual intercourse is like, you know, part of what makes us human. So I don't know if any of y'all out there have ever done NoFap before, but that's 30 days of you're not allowed to masturbate. So imagine doing that, but for entire generations. And you tell me you probably wouldn't start doing some freaky shit.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, like, so you basically think that Greys are just kind of like perverts.
Well, yeah, I think because they can't have sex at all, there's no way of like I mean, I guess there's like probably they have like a chemical way of like getting the same like feeling, but like I'm assuming it's like, you know, it's like having Diet Coke versus the real thing. I mean, yeah, it scratches the itch, but like, you know, obviously the original's better.
That's a good take. That's an interesting take. I mean, I never really thought about them just being straight up perverts before. But I mean, it works out. I mean, I'm here thinking maybe they're trying to save their species, or maybe they're trying to like, you know, they're trying to like do other things with our DNA. And here you are, and they're just thinking they're like a regular fucking Angela White. I mean,
Maybe from where they came from, the gray, they're like the way they look was their version of Angela White. 'Cause, this is a different species or a different version of us. And who knows? Maybe they enjoyed that.
Good point. Okay. I'm not going to counter it because that is a pretty interesting point. And I think that you know what? I'm just happy that you're saying it's not bullshit right now. So I'll take anything, any theory you have, I'll take right now. The whole audience will take it. I'm sure they'll gladly love to hear Tasker saying something positive about the Greys. So thank you.
Yeah, I guess. Unintentional. And now that you've reminded me, now I got to think about how I can explain why all this fucking sucks and is fake.
Okay. But there have been reports of people being abducted and being told by the gray beings that they will be impregnated by a hybrid child, or that they have a hybrid child and that they already have a hybrid child that they don't remember, because remember, aliens wipe your memory when they abduct you, and that they were abducted again so that they could visit with them. It's fucking nuts, dude. There are people out there that actually think they have hybrid children out there in space somewhere. Some of them hard to believe. Others tell a pretty good story, and I don't know for sure, right? That could be another thing too.
Yeah, what's the exchange rate for US dollars? Because I'm assuming they're probably going to try to want child support for that, right?
That's a good question. I don't even know what it's probably free. I mean, probably just paid in jizz.
Yeah, that's true. That's all they want, right?
Yeah. And the ultimate goal of the Greys in this theory is to either repair their DNA or to create an all-new hybrid species to pass on their bloodline using the DNA that they've milked from us.
So that's kind of cool, because if we become part Grey, that just means we have telekinetic powers and stuff. Do they have telekinesis, or is it just reading minds?
No, I don't think they have telekinesis. I think they just have telepathy. But yes, you're correct. So indigo children, right, for instance, are believe themselves, some of them, to be hybrids of extraterrestrials. Not Grey specifically, but they usually say Grey and human.
The fuck is an indigo child?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? Oh,
what? That sounds like some hippy dippy bullshit.
It kind of is. It's some millennial bullshit. Look, indigo children think they're very special, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They think that they have psychic abilities. They think that it's kind of hard to explain, but they also believe that some of them, like I said earlier, believe that they are hybrid with human and extraterrestrial DNA. Hence, this is where we get them from, is from the Greys and their little hybridization programs. So indigo children, which we could do an episode on them in the future. It's pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You kind of got me intrigued on that, and that's like actually on this planet. So yeah, we'll have to look into that later.
And the last theory we will cover here is similar to the previous one as far as the experimentation on humans goes, but this time the governments of the world know, and it's actually allowed by them. So let's go back to Roswell, okay? Essentially in 1947, when the Roswell incident took place, one of the beings in the crash survived, as we mentioned earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
His name was James Brown.
James Brown. Wonderful.
In talks with this extraterrestrial, the U.S. government made a deal with the being's species, aka the Greys, that they would be allowed to abduct and experiment on a specific amount of humans per year in exchange for advanced technologies from them.
That's got to take some hella diplomacy on that single alien's part. Both of his crewmates died. He's surrounded by other extraterrestrial creatures that he's never seen before. And this Grey is just like talking his fucking life away, like chalking himself out of this shit like crazy, making deals and shit. That's diplomacy, man. That's impressive.
Exactly. So what I imagine happened is, they obviously had this alien, and after he recovered from his injuries enough, they did have a discussion with him telepathically, I'm sure, about this little deal. Because of course, the U.S. being the U.S., as far as the military goes, they want to get a leg up on everybody. So they're like, okay, contact your superiors because there was technology in the craft that survived the crash, right? So I'm sure what was his name? James Brown, the alien. I'm sure he still had a way to contact his superiors. And I think that's how this all went down you're right. He was basically talking his ass off, being like, yeah, man, we could totally get you this shit. You ever heard of Wi-Fi before, It's pretty fucking cool. Like you can use the internet wherever you are. Oh man, you don't even have the internet yet? Oh, fucking we'll tell you about that too. So then basically they had this exchange of technologies in order to allow them to abduct a certain amount of us. And this technology included aircraft technology and Wi-Fi and internet, like everything that we know of today. Aliens.
Sorry, that's cool and all, but I'm still stuck on the fact that they called him James Brown.
Oh no, that was a bit. No, I just named him James Brown.
Oh, okay. Because I thought there was like a correlation of like all the butt stuff they do and the fact that James Brown's lead single is "I Feel Good," and also the Sex Machine song too. So it just seemed a little appropriate. But alas, I digress.
Well, I am a starseed hybrid from Venus, and so I kind of knew where you were going with that.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
So, like I said, these technologies include aircraft technology and Wi-Fi. As a side note, I just want to point out about aircrafts, okay? The things we know about as the general public as being quote unquote advanced aircraft technology, right? Like these stealth fighters and all this bullshit. Compared to what is actually out there, thanks to these extraterrestrials, things that are actually being worked on behind the curtains, it looks like it makes these stealth fighters that we see today look like a popsicle stick house made by somebody with Parkinson's in comparison. There is no way that's where we're at in 2020 as far as our advancement. And it's all thanks to your buddy, James Brown, the alien. Because I'm sure that we have shit that's like straight up invisible that can move multi-directional and stop on a whim. Gravity, right? I don't know how it works, but they know how it works, and they manipulated that shit with antimatter or something. Dude, it's fucking crazy.
So that's like going back to the past and like giving the cavemen like a bouncy ball, and they're just like, whoa, and we're just like, oh boy, you have no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So they probably gave us some of their older shit, and we thought it was like a fair deal. That's crazy to me, dude. And they're still letting them abduct us. Now there are some reports that maybe they go over their capita every year. But how are we going to rein them in? What are we going to arrest them? So
I'm still subscribing to the fact that this single alien was just like in a panic trying to like wiggle his way out of this. And then he was just like, oh, we'll exchange technology. And they're like, all right, what do you got? Alien runs back into his ship. He's like, oh, fuck. We'll give fucking Wi-Fi. We haven't used that shit in years. This broken thing and this and this. And he gives it to him. And the humans are all just like, they're all trying to stay as stoic as possible. You could just see their erections just like poking like right through their pants.
Right through their khakis, dude.
So I like that idea. That makes it an enjoyable experience for me to think about when thinking about fictional things.
Fictional. Watch your words carefully.
Oh, I am choosing them quite intentionally.
Well, as far as the experimentation goes, it's still the same goal. The Greys are attempting to repair their genetics or possibly progressing their bloodline by creating gray human hybrids with our jism and our eggs and their DNA. But the only difference is the governments of the world know all about it and don't say a goddamn thing about it. Mm-hmm. And that is another theory right there. Those are the three theories that I think are the most probable about what their agenda here on Earth is.
I'm thinking this is bullshit, and this is why.
Here we go. Lay it on me, man. Why is it bullshit? Why is something happening for so long bullshit?
Because all of this sounds like a D&D campaign. All of this sounds like a little too constructed. Why do we have so much information about it? One could say, oh, yes, the government's feeding us little bits here and there, so we have something to chew on, you know? Like I've made this argument before, too. I think the government is giving us something to chew on because it keeps us placated while they drain our bank accounts and take advantage of us while the world's falling apart. I think the Greys is just like, that's so not real. Like, and especially with Roswell. Also, keep in mind another point too with the Greys is it's a major cash cow. As long as people are believing it and subscribing to it, they're going to drive out to fucking butt fuck nowhere and buy alien jerky. They're gonna go and the travel industry is gonna bank off of all the people going to Roswell and stuff. There's money to be made through this. There's books to be sold, and people are David Icke needs to make a living too,
So you think that something that's been happening for so long and has been reported by so many people is a cash cow?
Yes.
By the government.
I think,
even though people themselves have been abducted and probed, so these heroes on the front lines getting metal things shoved into their butts are lying about getting metal things shoved into their butts for money.
I'm not one to say that supernatural doesn't happen here and there, but I think most abduction stories are gravely exaggerated and are used as a way to, they see dollar signs like we talked about in the Allagash abductions. Like those, admittedly, some of them were like, yeah, we just wanted to make money.
Only one of them wanted to make money, and he was a dick. All right. I don't believe a word you're saying. I don't believe a word that any of those that dick was saying. And I believe in our heroes that are getting experimented on and forcibly orgasmed by extraterrestrials because they're doing their duty as Americans, and at least it's not me.
Well, I don't doubt that they're getting experimented on and like going through torturous stuff. I just don't think it's aliens that did it. I feel for all y'alls that are going through all this stuff. That's something I'll never fully understand. And, power to you for making it through this experience and deciding to carry on and do your best to live your best life. But I don't think it's a fucking gray ass Angela White Hitler monster from outer space.
Let's agree to disagree on this one, but this one hits me a little hard when you say it's bullshit, Tasker. This is the big daddy of ufology right here.
Yeah, but that's just all the more reason to go twice as hard, man. I got to go for the core. I can't just pull my punch because it's the glue keeping it all together. Like, no, this is the time to step up and double down and say, no, this is nope. It's not, like I said, it's until that 5-minute episode titled Nick Was Right, where if you getting dragged away and doing like a mildly offensive voice as you're getting pulled into an eternity of butt stuff.
Help me, please. Oh no, the slanted eyes come for me.
And that's the last you hear of our show. Then, okay, we'll see. I mean, I know I might be a regular, what's the biblical story? Is that Doubting Thomas? Was that his name?
I don't know much about that.
It's a biblical story. I think it was Doubting Thomas, where, of course, in Christianity,
it sounds like an alt rock band from like the early 2000s.
Doubting Thomas, it kind of does, yeah. Actually, they seem like they would have really cool underground shows where there's just a lot of beer spilled everywhere. But there's the biblical story where, of course, if you follow or know anything about Christianity, you know that Jesus was born as the Son of God, and then he dies for everybody's sins, and then comes back 3 days later. And there's a guy named Doubting Tom who was just like, fuck that. Like, dude, this is magic mumbo jumbo. Like, you pulled some fast one. Like, and because Jesus at this point, he'd already, quote unquote, ascended into heaven. But all of his followers keep seeing him. And so Doubting Thomas is like, you all are full of shit. You guys are just wasted, drunken assholes. Like, you're seeing shit. You're making this up. You're pulling my leg. I'll believe it when Jesus himself comes down from heaven and lets me feel the holes in his hands from the stigmata or whatever that's called. And Jesus shows up and he's like, bitch, check it, and makes him like check the holes in his hand. And at which point Thomas becomes like one of the biggest like followers there is in Christianity.
So you're calling me Jesus.
Not necessarily
doubting Thomas, right? So basically when aliens come down, I will be your Jesus, right?
I will when my buttocks has been fully molested by these aliens, I will become the biggest devout follower of ufology the world has ever seen.
Okay. I see that as a challenge. All right.
And that is not an invitation for you to come to my place of residence in all white paint with a big old cucumber. That's not going to work.
Hey, don't put ideas into my head. Quarantine does weird things to you.
It does. It really does. But no, that's your warning.
Everybody, really appreciate you listening. And this is our 17th episode. This is 17 straight weeks of Tasker and I yelling at each other. And I hope you guys enjoy it so far. We really appreciate you guys listening to. Tasker, do you have anything to say to the people?
I would say keep your sanity up. I know we're all still kind of quarantined, most of us at least out there in the world. Keep yourself distracted. Honestly, at this point, that's the best way. I mean, laying around and getting drunk at 9 a.m. sounds awesome. But at the same time, it's like, it wears off eventually. You're going to feel like shit and, you might get a beer belly. So, you know what, guys, try that new hobby. I know I still need to build my workout bench so I could, start lifting at home, and doing stuff that's, better than push-ups. But, hang in there. It'll get better someday, maybe. I don't know.
I'm hoping it will. Really appreciate you guys' listenership. If you guys are listening on iTunes, we would really, really, really love it if you would maybe rate, and even if you have time, maybe leave a little review.
Yes, please hit us with that 5 stars. That would be super appreciated. It'll bump us up a little bit more so more people can listen, and we can have some more friends to yell at.
Exactly. And also, if you're on Spotify, please give us a follow. Speaking of friends, if you are on Facebook, please join our Facebook page. You can find us at Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind or at CEO TPK.
Oh, yeah. Instagram at CEO TPK, Twitter at CEO TPK, and of course, Discord, which is discord.gg/b6, capital C, capital T, 5, capital M, capital X. And man, CEO TPK is really kind of flowing off the tongue now. It took me a little bit to get used to the acronym, but I dig it.
Yeah, see, it's not too bad. It kind of works out. CEO TPK, there you go. Kind of nice.
Yeah,
Smooth.
Also, it makes me think of CPK, the California Pizza Kitchen, and it gets me hungry.
Me too, man. Me too. Last little bit of news, guys. We are still working on Count Chocula episode. It is finally coming to fruition. I think we're really getting our nose to the grindstone right now, and I think you guys are gonna really dig this. Yeah,
we did the first draft of it, but it was just, we really want this to be at a level of refinement and perfection that it needs to be. We really want to make sure that when we truly give, and it's going to be a big one. I don't even know if we want to even split it into parts. I think we just want to do one big 6-hour special or something like that.
We had a 20-page outline ready to go for Count Chocula. But like Tasker said, we're trying to refine it. We're trying to make it the best possible thing that we could make on the subject. So I scrapped the entire thing. Mm-hmm. And we're going to start from scratch. But I'm already about 12 pages into the new outline. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and we both agree 20 pages wasn't enough.
Nope, not at all.
So stay tuned for all that stuff. We're doing what we can. Glad to remember every Wednesday, new episodes. That's our goal. It's what we've been sticking to this whole time, and we're going to keep on sticking to it.
Exactly, everybody. And come on, remember, the truth is out there. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
It's definitely not.
Is it possible that our dark past might repeat itself when we begin